Alright, we are back with another cast, this time between Heartland Hitman Spectre in the top right as our Protoss, and in the bottom right we have Heartland Hitman's Matz. Matz is our resident, I guess you call him the StarCraft Shark. He was Silver League for a while, but he plays like a diamond. And Spectre is actually a diamond, and this is a replay that was suggested by Spectre. And trying out also the new Observer UI. This is the 1v1, this is the HOTS launch version, and if you're interested, at the link section of the Heartland Hitman website, which you should totally check out, if you're not already part of our fine organization. And all the instructions are on there. You can get this and much more, or you can search for custom Observer UI. But anyway, so this is going to be obviously a Protoss versus Zerg on Star Station, which is a pretty big map. And for Protoss, it's kind of annoying, in the sense that this third is kind of hellish. You've got an opening here, here, and here, all that you need to defend. Meanwhile, you have another attack path up here. So this third is kind of a point of contention. So we're going to see how our two players manage to take it. Also kind of curious how Spectre is going to choose to open here. A lot of new fancy things coming up with Heart of the Swarm. Going for the old standard, the Forge Fast Expand. Forge first, certainly safer. We have seen a bunch of Gateway first openings from Protoss that lead into basically the same thing, except you get your cybernetic score faster, you get all your tech faster, and it's actually doable because of the Mothership Core and that Photon Overcharge. But Spectre going for old school, nothing wrong with that, and honestly that's what I think most people are doing now anyway. Nexus is up. Matz, oh, okay. This is the other benefit of Forge first. If you see a hatchery first, which this most certainly is, that is going to be your new nightmare. And he does not even scout this. This, by the way, is another reason you always want to put your second Overlord right here. This will spot bunkers, and it will spot cannon rushes, and oh, this is going to be quite unfortunate. There is almost no surface area to actually get to this cannon. It's going to be a very long-lasting cannon. This is a beautiful spot for it, by the way. This is, however, a pretty big investment at this point. 450 minerals for 3 pylons and a cannon. That is more than a Nexus. So he's going to guarantee that this dies, but once this is cleaned up, I don't know if it's going to be worth it, because you have this double expand here that he can't really punish now that the spawning pool is done. And while this cannon is going to reach back here, it's not going to reach the ramp, or really do much else besides kill this one hatchery. So 450 minerals to kill a 300 mineral hatchery, which is being replaced twice. Not sure if it's worth it. And Matz has forgot that's a thing. That is really why you never want a hatchery first against Protoss, because that will happen. Oh, and Spectre is definitely going to keep on the pressure here. Again, a pretty big investment, but he is keeping down Matz quite a bit with this, and he is ahead in probes versus drones. So while he's made a pretty big investment here, he has completely. The other thing about this is that even if I'm saying that it's 450 minerals to kill this hatchery, but you're also screwing with a lot of timings for the Zerg. And these bases are definitely not as nice to have as your natural. This base almost definitely going to go down. Again, he has these beautiful cannon placements, where this is just going to be such a pain to take out. You're going to need riches for that. So this base is the only survivor of all that chaos. Not a terrible place for a third, but he is going to want to clean this up pretty quick. Matt's not too happy with that. Spectre just now going for all his extra gases. I don't think he has any other tech. He has barely anything in his main. He has a gateway and a cybernetic score. So for Zerg, while this is terribly annoying... By the way, this is a beautiful move. Queen is out. Might as well use that energy for Creep Tumor. Gives you vision, gives you some more map control. And not a bad place for it, actually. It gives you a little extra advancement getting to the Protoss base. So I really like that little trick there. So this base is down. This still needs to be cleaned up. Lings are definitely not going to be the answer to that, though. Spectre still doesn't really have anything at all. He has just put down 2 Stargates. Okay, going for double Stargate play. Sky Toss is definitely a thing now, to quote Matz. And I'm curious to see if he's going to go straight for that, or if he's just going to use this for a stepping stone into something else. Matz, meanwhile, is still on 2 bases, which is not where you want to be as Zerg, and he is teching up like crazy. He's not even really trying to get his natural back. We'll see if that's a good idea or not. Because you do need actually a pretty decent commitment. Is getting his Roach Horn, but you do need at least 3 or 4 roaches to really take on that cannon without really taking too much damage. Spectre taking a very bold third, where he has absolutely nothing to defend. Void Rays are going to come out. Might be in time, but he's going to do a lot of damage if he sends any reinforcements. Oh, Matt's also taking a bold third. This is quite the interesting game already. I think both players have thrown away any concept of a build out from the beginning of that cannon rush. Right now it is improv night on Star Station. This base actually might, maybe... Oh, and he does cancel at the last second. I do think that was the right decision. It's always heartbreaking, especially after all that hard work, but that base was just not going to... Especially with this swell of reinforcements right there. So as we were talking about before, this third is definitely going to be the point of contention for Protoss holding on to that. Also a fleet beacon. A very quick fleet beacon with Graviton catapults. Is he making... Well, he's going to make carriers eventually, hopefully. These Lings want to get in there so badly, but... not quite. So meanwhile, in Camp Matz, going for Hydraless Speed. I don't know if he's gotten the range upgrade. The new Observer UI doesn't let you see what upgrades are available. Small downside to it. Oh well. His third is just getting up. He is not really saturating it, though. He's still focused so much on those Hydras. And he's going to need to do some kind of damage with them. Which isn't all that far-fetched, though. Because, again, Spectre with that huge commitment early on in the game just does not have a lot here to defend. And 3 Void Rays, not so scary. Before that critical mass, it is just not an issue for a healthy group of Hydras, and no splash damage is going to be even just so much worse. He's building some carriers now. This is very bold indeed. Void Rays want to take out this hatchery. He is going to move in. He might actually... He is going to push this off. Damage has been done, and... Ouch. Alright. So Spectre falling a bit behind with that. And all these Hydras are actually going to be just about impossible for Spectre to stop with just Stargate units. Especially with all these Queens. Oh, Matz is pulling out all the stops on this. All these Queens for the transfuses and the anti-air. Definitely a good decision. And carriers. Because why not? The Hydras are focusing on shooting down those interceptors. They do go down very quickly. 2 Hydraless shots. But he has kind of hit that critical mass now, and he's going to start running out of transfuses pretty quick. This is going to be real close, though. The carriers have actually run out of interceptors, and producing them one by one, definitely not worth it. He is going to want to pull out of there after taking down that that Nexus. This isn't ZVZ. This might be a bit of an overcommittal. especially without reinforcements coming in. Spectre disagrees, though, and I was incorrect. Because at this point, Spectre doesn't really have much aside from an carrier, 2 carriers, 1 carrier, and 3 zealots. That is his entire army. Though I do have to point out that Spectre's minerals, a little bit high. 30 zealots right now would have been absolutely amazing. Has he even gotten Warp Gate? Oh my god. Spectre, you are... You are Spectre. Alright. Hydra's moving in. More carriers coming out. This is definitely not what I expected to see in pretty much any PvZ. Is carrier rush on 2 base. Well, not rush, but fast carriers on 2 base against Hydras, and... Oh, needs a photon overcharge. Needs that photon overcharge, but not quite enough energy. He needs 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now it won't matter. As for why he went Hydras, Hydras are just good early game. And in a situation where you put in so much money into doing all those cannons, the Protoss just can't have the splash damage necessary to deal with a large number of Hydras. So if you've gone for Colossus right after, it's basically just going to be a Colossus, and you're not going to hold that third, and you're going to have trouble holding that natural. Part of it, again, was a bit of a bank there, so that's now true for both players. But Hydras are just so good against everything Protoss has, except for heavy splash damage backed up by a decent gateway force. So going Hydras after some kind of attack has taken a huge chunk of money that isn't going towards Colossus in a gateway army, or Templar in a gateway army, it's never a bad idea. Hydra Ling is so good against Protoss in general. Even without the Lings in this case, as soon as you saw the Stargate units. That base is going down, though, and this is actually turning into a game again, because Matz might have gotten a little overconfident with his push in. "13 kill carrier, 11 kill carrier." Yeah, this is suddenly a little bit scary. There's a Nidus Worm down here, just kind of chilling, and everything here is needs to get those carriers back to actually defend. An A move gets him caught up for just a moment. Oh, it's so heartbreaking. Carrier so close to finishing. And these carriers actually will clean up those Hydras. So what is Matz doing back at home? That is a lot of Spore Crawlers. That is what Matz is doing back at home. He has still, by the way, not taken this natural, which I think at this point is a mistake. He has a bunch of Hydras, and Hydras can easily take on those cannons. I should say that cannon. Bit of a hidden ninja... 2 hidden ninja bases back here for Spectre. He will see the probes transferring, so he's probably tipped off pretty well that something is up. Also taking 2 bases of his own down here. I thought this game was over, but I was very, very wrong. Still on Lair Tech. Does not have an infestation pit, I believe. 3 bases now. These need to saturate those. Though again, I do think a couple Hydras down here, and even here at this point, very easy to take that out and get some safer bases up and running. Especially with Hydras that are generally slower, even with the speed upgrade now that they have. It's just so much easier to defend back there. Matz will spot these bases, though. The question is, what will he do about them? Especially with this base up and running again. Ah, Matz had this game, might have overextended just a bit. I thought he had that, and likely he did too, as he was pushing into the main base, but Apparently you can never count Spectre out. Curious where these drones are headed. Likely here. Carriers poking in, trying to do some damage. They will kill the spawning pool, which is nice. Though not crippling. Actually, there is one thing to note about that, especially against air. The spore crawlers require a spawning pool to build now, instead of an evolution chamber. So killing a spawning pool means no more spore crawlers, which is kind of fantastic. Lings now moving into Russian, and there's nothing back here to defend. No cannons, nothing at all. Bit of a probe massacre there. Oh. Still no warp gate, but he is producing out of all those gateways. But not quite in time to stop a huge, huge, absolute... Oh, 68 probes have been killed this entire game. Running out after the swell of zealots, and that is definitely the right choice. This base stands, but after that probe massacre, does not have much in the way of income. Making some Phoenix now. It's an interesting decision. Might be A, worried about a muta transition. They're also fairly cheap as Stargate units go, so it will give them a bit more map control, clear out overlords, always nice. Especially because they're just so quick. Matz now has base down here saturated. This one getting up there as well. Carrier's looking to do something about that. And this base is just completely open, so it's going to be a good bit of revenge for Spectre. Do they have any upgrades? They have oh, carriers with +2 attacker. Actually kind of terrifying. And the reason for that being interceptors attack twice, and each carrier has 8 interceptors. So every +1 air attack is actually +16 damage from a carrier. It's kind of hilarious. Some Hydras, a little late to the party, they should actually get out of there. But Spectre has cleaned up these bases now. And that puts Matz back on 3 bases, sort of. This base completely mined out. This base starting to get mined out. Actually, it's about to be mined out. Again, still has not taken this natural. He is, however, going to take out this base of Spectres, which is definitely nice. But now Spectre's kind of moved to the top left of the map, which means that this base not quite as impactful. And this is, you know, you could say that this was like, if we were at the 12-minute marker, I would kind of believe this as a game state, and they just had cross spawns, but nope. All right. No ground upgrades for Spectre. Definitely worth noting. That +2 air attack is just so good for those carriers. And those Phoenix have been used to clear out overlords. 2 kills on that. Not bad at all. Mixing in some Colossus as well now. And the Colossus are basically, quote, the counter to Hydralists, and I probably shouldn't quote that because they basically are. So that will make approaching this army and dealing with it with just Hydra very difficult. So he's going to need some Vipers, and with that he's going to need Hive Tech, but he's still on layer. So the longer this goes on, Spectre's actually pulling quite into the lead here. And with Vipers you can pull out those Colossi and put them right into the middle of the Hydras, but oh, so much squishy and so much lasery death. These Colossi are basically going to win him the game. If Spectre wins this battle, it has to be from the Colossi. Yeah, Matt's moving in there, trying to get in. Cannot quite make it. A nice burrow, actually. Oh, Spectre has no detection with that. He does have the Robo, though, and I would be surprised if there's not an observer coming up or somewhere on the map. No observer, and he's not making observer. He is, however, making 2 Colossi at a time. Devastating, devastating tech switch. This, I think, is a pretty apt description of this game. Beautifully said. So he's going to retreat. And Matz is going to have to come up with a solution very, very quickly. Another Nidus coming up. I'm not sure if this is going to do much in this situation. I do like seeing Nidus on maps this big, though. Absolutely awesome. Just the mobility they give you. And also the heart attacks they give Protoss. Oh, that sound. The space is still up, but it's not mining. So I think Matz's only mining base actually is right here. And the big bank for both players has dried up completely. So the supplies are relatively even. I don't think Matz is running out of options, because all those Colossi need to be dealt with. Otherwise they'll just vaporize a ground army. Apparently Matz was unloading the Nidus and could not stop it unloading. So that was just a bit of a meat grinder right there. Unfortunately missed that. My bad. Alright, this army moving out. This might just be the killing blow. Because what Matz has is not going to stop this. I don't see how Matz can actually get out of this. And that's going to be my mouse dying. Alright, cool. There we go. We're good. A nice burrow. Again, still no detection, which is kind of strange. Especially because he saw it before, but oh, it's so many Colossi. This is just going to be laser tsunami. Spore colors not going to be enough to stop. All the zealots backing it up. That should be GG. Hey, screw you. Pull back briefly, but just watch the Hydras melt. I would say something, but I don't think I have to. And there's the GG. Beautiful comeback by Spectre. Hung in there. I think part of that was Matz overcommitting, thinking he had won the game. I had thought he had won the game. And the expansions over here, definitely the right decision. Getting farther away from that slower Hydra army. This base was just not going to last. This base was... That Nidus from the beginning was still up there. Oh, and unfortunately, I'm checking the chat right now. Oh, unfortunately, Spectre could not see this on the stream, but I will be doing a highlight clip of this later. So we should be able to see that. So, beautiful comeback by Spectre. Also, I really love the tech switch into Colossi after seeing all those Hydras. And the carriers are basically just a snipe squad. Take out this base, take out this base. The Hydras cannot keep up all over the map. I think for Matz, this base, he really needs to take this base. All those juicy resources. And this base as well. Talking about kind of expansion theory, that makes it sound so pompous, but the theory behind where you're expanding. Mobile armies like to expand far away. Very slow armies like to expand in the path of attack, or at the very least just kind of clumped up. A Hydra army is pretty close to... I wouldn't say they're immobile, but they're slow. Especially, even with the speed boost that Heart of the Swarm has given them. They are a slow army. So you want to stay kind of close together, clumped up, so you can run over and defend, and attacking is a little bit easier because you're attacking from near your point of reinforcement. And that's super important. If you had gone, say, Mutalisk Zergling, I think the... What are... Oh, those are Brewer drones. If you had gone Mutalisk Zergling, expanding all the way over here makes a lot more sense because you have this super fast army, so if your opponent moves out to attack it, you can intercept his forces and just run him around in circles. So I think for Matz, he definitely needed to take these bases, and he needed to be a little bit more aware of what was going on over here, and not quite overcommit so much to here. But mostly, I think a large part of that was taking these bases and eventually getting up to Hive and getting some tier 3 tech out, some Vipers especially. He could have just gone Viper Hydra, and these Colossi are way less scary with Vipers out. Anyway, that was a beautiful game. I'm going to stop it here. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you learned a few things. And I never know how to finish these off. Okay, done.